How much would you take to be my surrogate?
Felt like a teenage pregnancy, a serious overhead.
So this is double the amount you're expecting to pay.
Medical insurance, man, me I won't lie, nilikuwa napuuza. I think that was the dumbest decision I made.
I can't have a child right now because of money.
Get family planning, guys.
Hi guys, my name is i.am.ngina and welcome to the Money Moves Diary podcast. You're probably wondering, what is that? That is a podcast where we discuss real life situations, money, and basically just have conversations about how to go about life and how to go about your monies and finances, and in a fun, creative, free space. And today, my first guest is a really good friend of mine, a long-term friend of mine. As I was prepping for this episode, I just remembered how we have come from drinking unnamed substances to sitting here in a podcast room.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out life, but now in front of other people as well. So thank you so much for being here, first of all. Tell the people who you are.
Okay, my name is Beatrice Wanjiku. I'm an advocate of the High Court, currently an in-house counsel at a bank. I am also Ngina's longtime friend. We met, I think the first week of campus. I was that extrovert who earmarks an introvert at the back. And it was Ngina. And I was like, you're my friend now. I was adopted you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
Exactly.
I was adopted and I didn't fight it. I was just
she didn't fight it. She was just like, okay.
Okay, then I guess we are going for lunch.
Yeah. And we stuck it out for...
It's been 8 years.
8 years.
If I'm not wrong, it's been 8 years now. And the other reason why you specifically are here is to talk about motherhood. You brought me a nephew.
I know.
You brought the first baby into the squad.
Yeah.
First of all, how does that make you feel? The fact that it's the nephew, he's our first baby.
I know. Okay, so for the squad, it's the first baby.
Yeah.
So, of course, everyone doesn't know how to react except, oh my gosh, it's happening.
Yeah.
But it felt like a teenage pregnancy-ish.
How old were you? For context, give people context.
Yeah, because I got a baby last year. So I was 26. No, yes, I was 26 at the time.
Yeah.
Do I remember my age? I was 26 at the time. I was 26 at the time.
Yeah.
And that was the first baby for the clique. And during that time, I don't think any of us were even thinking of settling down a family in the near future.
Yeah.
So we are also still starting out.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately for us guys, you go through uni, you have 4 years, and then you have 2 years of KSL.
Yes.
I had just gotten admitted to the bar. So this is like your first significant salo being an actual advocate.
Because you're not an intern, you're not in holding over.
Yeah.
You've just started working.
I've just started working officially. Like someone will now come give me a brief and they're like, run with this.
Yeah.
For the first time. And then you get pregnant. So that was a bit wild. It felt like in that sense, it felt like a teenage pregnancy.
That's a wild thing to say. Teenage pregnancy. But then I think also when you compare with our parents' age, I think my mom had my brother at 26 as well. Yeah. But at that point in time, you've already been working for like 3-4 years because...
Exactly.
Yeah. It's different.
That's the crazy bit is my mom had my sister firstborn at 26.
Ooh.
My sister had her son at 27. I had my son at 26. It's crazy.
It's like a family tradition.
At this point.
Yeah, I hope my family does not have the same tradition.
You only have so much time.
Can I turn 20? Can we just move on past this one? So the structure of the podcast will basically be, it's a conversation for sure, but I will ask you a few questions about your experience with motherhood to also help other people who are either new moms or you're planning to be a mother or you are around mothers or you are a father, because sometimes the man on the other side may not have as much perspective on what a mother goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can I ask you the first question or just jump right into it? Before you were a mother, you were you mentioned your mom had your first born at 26.
Yes.
You are also your mother's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. So the question here is, how do you think that relationship, that mother-daughter relationship, affected you, your perception of money, and generally your mothering right now?
Hugely. It's crazy. As I've grown up, I
Yeah.
think I have done so many things. And sometimes also we're with my cousin who we're close with. And I'll do some things and she's like, you're becoming your mother. And I'll be like, yeah, I can feel her in me. You know, I can feel her in my bones. You can just say a phrase and you're like, this is something my mom would say.
Yeah.
So I think my relationship with my mom has really impacted my relationship with money, my relationship with relationships, my relationship with myself, and my relationship with work.
Yeah.
Because when she's a working mom, she's been a working man.
Yeah.
And she's raised us while working. And she had to do that balance. She's not a single mom, she's married, you know, and that's also a point of privilege because that also, you know, increased how well they both were able to provide for us.
Yeah.
But it was also important to see the dynamic that money influenced that relationship, even if it's not directly shared. Passively. So, because I know that one of the things which my mom used to tell me a lot, of course, when you get to teenagehood, they're like, don't go for wababas, you know, they'll start dating you for money. Your father has provided. So those are usually like the first tidbits.
The first things you're told is like, you don't need to go for men to survive. You're fine.
You're
so
fine.
Don't go for wababas.
And she, I even remember at one point she sent me, you know, you remember those first memes, which were in like a postcard way, and there's like a mama over there, and they're like, oh yeah, my daddy treated me. So she sent me one of those just so that I have that in mind. So I remember those were like one of the few tidbits. And then most of our conversations, funny enough, whenever it came to even life, just they happen a lot in the car.
Yeah.
So whether we are coming from the supermarket or she's picked me up somewhere, something of the sort. So in the car, sit tumechapa story, and then she's just there dropping like tidbits. And I remember the other thing she just sprinkled over there, not once or twice, was, Shiko, make your own money. Make sure you make your own money so that you do not end up asking a man for your own personal items. I think, and you know, from women of that time, that was like a huge thing.
Yeah.
My mom was born in the 60s.
Yeah.
So she was working in the 80s and 90s. You get like during that time, and even I remember going to graduations while also my other friends were graduating, and their dads would be like, this is my wife. And she does not stand behind me, she stands beside me.
Yeah.
And for them, like, that's a big thing. Yeah, like, look at us, you're so progressive. You know, so like, I really do think that it has impacted a lot how I look at work, how I look at money. And also kind of, she has, in just looking at her life and how much she's pushed herself from coming from her background, Ukoshags, because them, they're not Tao people. As most of our parents are not, even if you're born Tao here.
Even if you see a slay over here,
yeah.
I can watch Ajiko in 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds,
you
guys.
Know?
Utahuha probably.
Yep.
So coming from that and working so hard, she's so proud of what she did even in high school.
Yeah.
So, and seeing your mom being proud like that of her achievements, it rubs off on you.
It makes you want that for yourself and
you're
even
like,
more.
Sure, I can do this. I can even do. I mean, come on. The bar is like the ceiling, so you better reach the sky.
Yeah.
So I think it has really impacted, and also my mothering. That's also the other thing which you said. And I want to say spiritually, because mothering, let no one fool you. You don't know what you're doing.
I don't know.
If you're a new mother. So I know even for the first few months, I was heavily relying on my mom and my sister who have previously been mothers.
Yeah.
They were the people who really carried me through that moment. And one of the other important lessons I learned, I guess, from my mom is how much your relationship with God and your faith carries you through so many difficult moments.
Yeah.
As you're mothering your child, and when you're so scared, I feel like when you get a child, you just understand how fragile life is.
It's you become a prayer warrior without even intending on it.
Me, if I just, if I'm at home and I sense like the air is funny, I'm looking for my son. I'm like, Kujapa.
Yeah.
Get behind me, Kwanza, you know?
Yeah.
So that's I think it's so scary just how over time your first concern is usually like, how is this kid? How is he doing? And then now you go to you. And it's so automatic. And I don't know.
It's just natural, so to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. So
yeah.
And that also influences now your relationship with spirituality, at least for me. So I think, yeah, she's one of my role models. She's my first role model.
Yeah.
She always will be. She has that spot. It's not going anywhere.
Wow. Does knowing how much your mother impacted, like how even you're parenting right now, does it make you like anxious about parenting? Because for me, that's one of the things that I feel. Because my mom is an amazing mother, and I see what she does, and it makes me so scared. Because I'm like, can I be that selfless? Because I miss you.
I know, but it's great. Okay, I won't say every mother experiences this, because I feel like motherhood affects different women
differently,
separately. But I think a lot can testify to when it actually, you don't know until it happens what it will bring out in you. Yeah, because also remember, when you become a mom, like so many other things are happening in the background. There are the chemical and hormonal changes happening in your brain. There's also your relationship with your partner, and that will greatly impact your motherhood journey. And also your relationship with your parents will impact. And I think for me, having a really strong relationship with my mom, then I was able to, when I was scared of leaving home, when I had to leave home and not go back to my house, I was just like,
and now it's you, the baby, and the nanny.
Yeah, but I was like, I have to. I have a separate life.
Outside.
So it gave me that strength. I was just like, you know what? She has given me enough knowledge, and I can always call on her. And she always makes it clear. She's like, if you're out there, just know we're still here. Like us, we've not abandoned. You've not thrown you out. You've made that decision to move out, but you're still our child. You can always come back. Even that child is still our grandchild. And I feel like those reassurances that she gives really do help me now be more confident when I'm out there. So
then now I have to ask, you see, knowing that there's that cushion, and I think it's also there financially, because if it's there physically, it's there financially. If you can go back to your parents' house, it means you don't have to pay rent in your own house. Has it made you make, let me say, not the best decisions? Decisions that are a bit like
so let me say this. So okay, so that's twofold. For me, no.
Okay.
I was very key on financial independence. So for me, being able to support my son separately from my mom, or not just from my mom, but from my family, because there's also my dad there. Being able to provide for my child separately from that is very important to me. I think it has given me a cushion to be able to go and take risks for sure, but not throw caution to the wind.
Okay. So, can you tell us like a type of risk you could take that is not the worst, but still it's a risk that maybe otherwise, or someone who's not exactly in your situation would not be able to take?
Listen, I don't say I'm risk averse. But
to me, you seem very, as your friend, seem very safe, so to say.
Yeah, I'm very safe. But I don't say I'm so risk averse, because I know, especially when it comes to financial decisions, I have made some questionable. I've done some questionable things. I've lost some money one way or another. And it wasn't kidogo money. It was the money which I lose, and then an emergency comes up, and I'm like,
give me a figure.
Okay, it's not gone past 50K. It's not gone past 50K.
It's equally significant and insignificant depending on who.
So for me, it's because I know money, like right now with what I have, I can recover that in like 1 month or two.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have a baby daddy who's supporting me. So I'm not doing life alone.
By yourself.
By myself. So, and he also gives me a kind of a cushion.
And even with that, you're still not the hugest risk taker.
No.
That's so interesting.
I
don't know if that would be. Okay. I'm not saying anything, but I don't know if that
Let me tell you, I'm an overthinker. I think before I take a leap, I remember even the last time I lost cash from, I bought something online. This is how usually I lose cash most of the time. So I bought something online. It was a purchase for goods.
For
They were never delivered.
Okay.
I don't think they will ever be delivered.
Mm.
So that one I had to forgo. But iliniuma, let me tell you, even sent a demand letter.
Not using all your legal skills.
Yeah, I was using all my legal skills. We were about to angukia that place with an auctioneer. Me, I was serious.
Yeah.
By the way, iliniuma,
I'm
ilinuasha.
so sorry. Was this like goods meant for purchase, like to sell?
It was furniture.
Okay. I remember this. I remember this. You're so frustrated.
Man, I was so frustrated. I was so pissed off.
And on the...
Because this is someone who had supplied to me
before. So you had
there was
no
a level of
expectation
trust.
that they would run away with your money and not deliver furniture.
Yeah.
And furniture is not cheap, really.
And go MIA.
Are they alive? Like,
they're alive.
So they just went MIA.
Yeah.
Oh my God. on the whole risk and spending money the way you want, I guess, what can you say is the most useless thing you ever bought, either because of your pregnancy or for the baby?
This is hard. I'm just realizing how am I very calculated?
You seem very calculated.
I'm trying to think.
And is this something that
useless?
Useless, maybe not. Maybe it's just for aesthetics. Not a lot of practicality. Yeah.
I have not had the privilege
okay
to have like a wasteful expense. I do think though, one of the most things I do is it's food. Okay. Hakuna permanent item I can be like, imagine it's food.
And you see food is very consistent. Like,
yes, me I'll buy snacks. I'll even buy a very expensive meal. Even for baby. You're joking. Hey, me once cravings show me. It's over. We are all eating in the house.
That is true. But also this, I think, being your friend, this has been you ever since. From the first year when we're struggling to buy a packet of crisps for like 60 bob, a kawaida packet of crisps. Now this guy pulling up with the hugest Pringles can. And I'm like,
let me tell you,
okay?
my mom is usually pissed off about it because she's like, how much are you paid? How are you affording to buy these Pringles?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like,
but I want Pringles. So food is a weakness. I can't even blame you.
It's a weakness.
I can't even blame you.
Yeah.
And have you ever had a situation where you've had to pick between buying something for yourself or buying something for the baby? Tell me about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So while you were adjusting, I remember, okay, now let's even talk of this now. So when you're in maternity and you're employed, you're earning money, but you're at home, but you're earning full salary. So during that time, if you do not save and then you go back to work, possibly you're a new size, which I was.
Yeah.
And I wasn't just a new size once, I was a new size every month.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it wasn't just me who was a new size. I had a healthy baby.
Yeah.
He was also a new size every month.
Yeah. They do that, they grow.
Yeah. And for him, you're not buying a T1 trouser. Yeah. No, he's outgrowing the full set.
Everything.
Yeah. So I know I have done this a lot where I have put my wardrobe on hold. Actually, at this point, I even know the pairs of flats I have that are actually my size is one.
Okay.
It's wild, right? And here's the thing. If I do not eat, take away food for like 2 days, I swear I'll have.
So you're saying this weakness of yours that we've just discussed, the food one, is the one that's making you not buy another pair of shoes.
Possibly. You know how they usually like, that cup of coffee will save you.
Yeah.
It will save me a pair of shoes.
For you, that Pringles can will save you a pair of shoes.
Yes. And I've tried to go back to carrying lunch.
Yeah.
You
eat the lunch and then you still buy what you want.
Yeah. And I was so religious with that by the way when I started working.
How's that going?
The circumstances are different now.
Sure. Of course.
But anyway, as I said, I think for me that has been like my major struggle. And so it's shocking. You know, sometimes when you talk about it, you're like, yeah. But because I had also to change my clothes like twice or thrice because I was just adding weight.
Yeah.
After postpartum. Yeah, bro. And then, you also have to buy clothes. For just the maternity.
For the maternity time.
Yeah, for the just
duration.
Achana na the pregnancy.
How much do you think you spent in total on clothes postpartum?
Mhm. It's a lot.
It-
It's not kidogo money.
How much?
It's a lot.
Give me a number. Give me a or a range.
It's a lot because I was like, oh yeah, I'm buying work clothes. Work clothes are more expensive. So
Yeah,
that can easily go to 30K. I'm being modest.
30K
Yeah. And then kidogo,
per
kidogo,
shopping spree.
no sweatpants are fitting me. And I'm like, I'm going home. I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't wear work.
yeah. You can't wear work clothes. You
I
can't wear
can't wear
office
work
clothes in the
clothes. I can't wear
house.
office clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So now I
you can't
have
wear
to
your
buy
previous
them. But
clothes
those ones
because
I'm tush, so they're fine.
but even
But
if they're
it's a
tush, it's
lot.
still.
Are you seeing how I'm evading answering
I can see what you're doing. I let me
Let's say it's like above 50K.
50 to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
then
a wide range.
the range is 50. It's starting at 50.
Yes.
It does not end, is what she's saying.
It definitely is not beyond 100.
This is just immediately postpartum, though.
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
interesting.
And then I got to a point where I was like, I
Uh-huh.
don't care. Sasa nguo zinaweza pasuka. I'm buying
What?
more clothes.
What? What?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not
Like,
buying any more clothes.
it's just wear the same two clothes
I'll
that you
just
have.
wear the
like-
same ones. If anyone has a problem
But
with
then
them.
at the same time, you're still buying the baby clothes because
Yeah.
he's still growing.
But I had to get smart with it.
Okay, how?
So I was comfortable just buying him oversized clothes at some point.
So we've become our parents.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. The system is
Yeah.
not broken. I'm not fixing it. We're doing that. The system works.
But would you still do this thing for buying oversized clothes when he's young right now? He's just turned 1.
I think it depends because even with my nephew, I observed the same. They
Yeah.
have growth spurts.
Yeah.
So you're buying fitting clothes. At one point, you can buy fit clothes. They fit for like years. At least for him, it will fit him for like years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, between last year and this year,
Yeah.
have you seen how tall my nephew has
Yeah.
grown?
Yeah.
He came from here, and right now I
then-
feel like he's getting taller than me. I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
He's just 8
Do
years
that.
old. Should calm down. So it depends. And when you get to that growth spurt, I think it's just go oversized because you will buy clothes every few months.
But
can do that.
predict the growth spurt really?
You can just see it happening. When you just see next month, mtoto ameshakuwa, you're like,
It's
we're in
like,
that season.
okay, oversized clothes. But if it's not growth spurt season, you will buy him.
Yeah, ata
clothes
uta
for-
relax because
Yeah.
you won't even need to buy. You won't even notice you're not buying.
Wow.
Yeah, you're buying.
this is such-
You're buying for. I saw a nice thing. Or you don't have sijui ya Kikuyu or what. I don't know. Like
No,
you get
I'm
like.
so happy that I have friends who have had children before me. We'll just inherit you guys' clothes. I haven't even trained for this.
If you find them.
By the way, we don't know the timeline for this because anyway.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
another question. Let me bring it to the birth process. Personally, that's one of those things that scare
Scary.
me.
Yeah.
Tell me about what the most expensive thing was as you were preparing to deliver. Obviously, I expect that the delivery was
The most expensive.
yeah,
for
but
sure.
you can tell me whether there was something that came up that was unexpected
Yes.
or how did it go for you? Also, tell me your physical experience as well.
So this is, in life you can't predict who you end up having a child with, but it's very important, especially at the stage which I was having the kid.
Yeah.
And you also can't predict the family you're in. At the time when I was even picking out the hospital, I was like, this is going to be fine. I have work insurance, our limits are this. I was like, it would be fine. And I had scheduled normal. So I was like
a normal delivery as opposed
I was
to
like,
CS.
ata kukienda aje will be fine. But things didn't go as planned for sure. So, I had an emergency CS and my costs went up because now and it was emergency and I had other medical complications.
Yeah.
And the baby also had medical complications.
Yeah.
And one thing that's important to factor in, you need to put your baby, your baby's expenses are separate. So you need to add them to insurance very early on.
So when your baby is born,
Yeah.
they're already another person.
They're already another person.
As soon as they're out of your body, this is
so
person
usually
A.
in the hospital, they give you a birth notification.
Yeah.
You need to send that to your HR or whoever.
Immediately.
Yes.
But you're in the hospital.
As soon as possible. Because if they're not added, mfike discharge, you're going to pay that thing cash. Their charges are separate. So this is in a private hospital, at least. In public, it's a bit different.
Okay.
Kids do not have unnecessary expenses. You know, my kid also, when he was born, he had complications. He had to go to an ICU.
Yeah.
There are those expenses. There are the nurses' expenses. So there's that which you need to factor in. And then he was sick. He had his meds. Funny enough, his bill wasn't a high one. It was mine.
Yours.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Are you comfortable sharing how much the bill was? Also, like vis-a-vis, what were you expecting it to be, and what did it end up being?
I was expecting my bill to come to around 250, 300, maybe if it goes too up.
Yeah.
Our insurance limits are 200.
Yeah.
And for at least they gave us the need. They were like, it's going to get to 250 if it's CS. Even if you do emergency CS, it falls under that category.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Even if I can't pay, my dad or my mom can come in, or the baby daddy can come in. So that didn't happen. There were complications. My bill, I think, shot to 400, and the baby's bill was like 200. So we had an
600 and
overhead.
something. Yeah.
A serious overhead.
So this is double the amount you're expecting to pay.
More than double.
More than double the amount you're expecting to pay.
More than double.
Yeah.
It's beyond the insurance. Even if the insurance sets off what's remaining, is still a lot.
It's not even whatever the initial was.
Yeah.
Even if it sets off the 200, you
I
still
even
have
remember
400.
when that bill was paid off, I felt like crying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like
I was
the
just
relief
like,
of, oh my gosh.
I was like, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Yeah.
You know.
The spirituality has entered the chat.
You know, if I was not in the position, if I was in right now, and I remember even while I was staying and we were still chatting with my baby daddy.
Yeah.
And he was like, of importance, like he was telling me, don't think of the expenses. Just get healthy first.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, like it's really important to factor that in. And to also now like do proper financial planning, because I know the situation in public hospitals is much different, especially before shift. I won't comment on shift, but I know.
Sorry.
You were about to go in.
Like,
you were like, yeah.
I still need to run a business in this country, so I will shut up.
But with NHIF and with Linda Mama, guys never used to pay for. You could go to a public hospital and you won't pay. You
deliver, you go home with your baby. You don't pay anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was actually adequate to cover for these women who are going to give birth. So I know that situation is definitely different.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah. But if like you're planning to go the private way, you're like, okay. And me, I was staying in general ward. Me, I just take a private room. You didn't have
a private room, a private wing, the presidential suites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you really have to look at your service provider. At the time, I went to that because I knew that was like
that was the most straightforward. Or what do you mean?
To me, I was like, I've been going to that's why I'm going to give birth. I didn't even think of the options. Thinking back now, I'm like, I would have explored more because I know other hospitals where the prices are a bit lower.
Better, yeah.
So that's also something you have to factor in. Medical insurance, man, me I won't lie, nilikuwa napuuza. I think that was the dumbest decision I made.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking of it clearly.
Like medical insurance other than the one provided to you by work?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there was a plan to get a separate one. And I was like, it's not necessary we have work insurance. It's going to be fine. Yeah. No, it was not.
Ooh.
That is one. Two, and I remember I even helped my friend with this the other day. If you have a partner, you can always be added on to the insurance.
Yeah.
And both the insurance cards can set off the bill.
Yes.
Not just
so
yours
you
as
are not
mother.
On his insurance card.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know this. I feel like if I knew this at the time, I would have been like, get added ASAP.
But
oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get added onto your partner's insurance card, even if you're not married, you can have an affidavit drawn up.
Yeah.
And then you're added onto the insurance, and it really goes a long way.
Guys, we have a lawyer in the building. If you want affidavits drafted,
talk to me, honey.
Yeah, the emails will be in the description. That is wild.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So out of all of that, what do you think was the most unexpected thing? What do you think people should be announcing that this is something you should expect when you're having a child, or even during the process of being pregnant?
Yeah.
Which is that thing that you think that we are severely underinformed about and people shouldn't be finding out when they're experiencing it?
I think one of the biggest things is just the expenses. I wouldn't say standard of care. We do not have the privilege in this country to be like, oh, you should go to this hospital, standard of care, blah, blah, blah.
Really? You can't say that?
I don't think so, because of the affordability aspect.
Okay.
And I think that's what you need to understand.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a certain social class. If you're middle class and above, and because even, oh gosh, this is a conversation we were having, this motion. So
you ain't gotta tell me
so
twice
we
ahead.
saw some personality gave birth, and then they were like in this, it's the VIP ward of that prestigious hospital.
Yeah.
And we're like, how are these people affording? We're like, how are these people affording? Like, maybe they have insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's a lot of money.
Yes.
Because I remember how much I paid, and I was in the general ward. I was like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I know people say a lot, before you have kids, you have to financially plan yourself. And most of the times, the biggest expense is cut out to be, just the birthing process. But no, it's an expense forever. Okay. Like, it's a recurrent expense. Because the medical,
the medical is a recurrent expense.
Listen, if you forget anything, listen to my whisper. Forever. Because we go to a private clinic for his nenes, because I was like, it's covered under insurance.
Yes.
It's not going to be anything special. And the insurance even caters for mpaka the vaccines. Insurance is very important.
Vaccines are not free?
No, vaccines. Yeah, so vaccines are not free, people.
They should be.
They're not.
Yeah.
So I did not know that there was a difference between private vaccines and the vaccines which are given by government, the KEFI vaccines.
Okay.
So I remember, and then I was asked to pay cash, and I was like, sorry.
That would have been maybe like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Why are you
and I
asking
even
me
called
for
my
money?
insurance provider. I was like, mbona nimeambia kulipa?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually got to a point where I asked for the list.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a private versus public, your booklets can be different. So like for mine, kuna vaccines and just added. Actually, just the recent clinic, all vaccines he was given are not under the government vaccine.
Okay, but are they covered by insurance?
No.
Why? Why,
No.
people?
No, they're not. Even because I asked for the list.
Why do we not care about our children?
I mean, we do, but there are those essential. There are vaccines which are considered essential and there are those which are like additives.
Okay.
So like, and right now, kids are being given more supplements than they were before. So that's also another thing.
Yeah.
I think they were saying, oh, there's an issue with vitamin D or stuff. So like, you'll go to Jose and you're being given things, and even my mom is asking me, Shiko, I don't love this. I don't love these things.
Do all of this?
Things, and she's like, things have really changed so much.
Yeah.
Before kids were not given meds.
Yes.
Just kumnyonyesha was enough.
Yeah.
Because your milk is supposed to be everything. But right now, I think my doki was even telling me the food you're eating is different. So you find kids need more supplements and more supplements, especially if you're living in the city.
Yes.
But if you're living outside, the situation is definitely more different. But if you're thinking of having kids, like you just can't jump into it.
Yeah.
For sure.
You just need to understand that this expense is a constant recurrent.
It's a constant
forever
recurrent. And there are those those are just clinics.
And those are
emergencies.
Yeah, you can plan for those ones. There's a term kind of fever.
Yeah.
You've shared with me has happened before.
Yes.
So you also need to financially prepare for those emergencies.
Yeah. There are times when
big or small.
Yeah. And you need to move around. You need... It's
one question before we move on from the pregnancy story. Given everything that you experienced during your birth process specifically, how much would you take to be my surrogate? That's why I brought you here. Anyway, this was all a mask for me to...
This was a trap.
This was all a trap for me to ask you.
My God, no. You had better... take me out of poverty. I'm not poor, but take me out of poverty. My sister.
How many
give me
trips
5
to Dubai?
million, give me 10 million. Trips to Dubai.
I give you one trip to Dubai with like, you can shop for whatever you want.
I can take myself to Dubai. What do you mean?
Yeah, but then I'll be taking you.
No. That's not enough for me to I feel like after my experience, if I am going to be a surrogate, first of all, you're getting me a mother that's learned, a lawyer.
Same.
To carry your baby.
I'm also learned.
To carry you. Why are you not carrying?
Because anyway. because I'm shallow.
You want to keep your body.
Because I'm shallow.
Oh my God.
So it's basically like, am I paying for a surrogate or do I pay for lipo after? Like, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking, by the way.
No, guys, this actually...
How much?
These are things people actually do. These are things people actually do. These are things that... Yeah, people, after now they've given birth, they're getting back to their body because people have different struggles.
Yeah.
Losing the weight or even accepting the new body they're in.
Yeah.
People do go for lipo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if I did, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I did. But you've said 5 million.
Yeah, 5 million.
Kenyan shillings.
Of course. You want me to give you USD?
Hey. No.
Yeah,
See, that's how you've praised yourself.
I love you.
Oh, this is such a good price.
For those 9 months.
That's such an amazing price.
It is.
Hey, you must
just because
really
you're my friend.
You must really love me because I would not charge that. I am very educated.
I'm being paid to love you for 5 million, for sure.
Wait, okay. As we are almost winding up, is there a way you feel like as your friends could have shown up better for you, especially in the finance department? Because I feel like, okay, you can also share in the now emotional support.
Yeah.
But how do you think, given the stage that you were at, is there a way that you feel like you could have been supported better?
Okay. I first of all want to say thank you to my friends.
No.
I have... Oh, hi guys.
Yeah.
I have nothing which I think everything you gave me was more than enough to carry me through that phase.
Oh,
yeah, because during that time, if I wanted to, you were coming home, like physically.
Yeah.
If I felt like even at some point I was getting overwhelmed, I always had a friend who I could call and I could talk to and I could cry with and I'd feel okay.
Yeah.
And I was also home with my friends and family. And I don't think I was so grateful. I would sometimes find myself, during that time you're so emotional. I'd find myself crying and I'm like, God, amen. Just amen. Thank you for answering my prayer. Like, thank you. Amen to this.
Okay, then which one of that was the best, or rather would you want other people to have as well? Other mothers
and that's
in a situation to have as well?
I think now what I thought in hindsight, because I do have friends who've had kids. In hindsight, I thought about it and especially thought about my best friend. Hi, Jennifer. So I remember during that time, I really thought about my best friend because I was like, I remember when she had her child, she was still in uni. She literally had to stop uni.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And as much as I did try to be there for her, I realized that I didn't understand at all what she was going through in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during that time, I was like, gosh, I wish I could have showed up more for her. Because, for me, it was more like, I'm there for her. I'll pick up the call or I'll call her and check in. If she needs something, I'll chip in here and there whenever I can.
Yeah.
But, I was so young and so clueless.
Yeah.
And she did not have that privilege of being so young and so clueless. She literally had to grow up like overnight.
Yeah.
So during that stage is when I really thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh, you never really know until you're like going through it. I even remember just telling her the other day, I was like, we're so lucky nowadays we can be on Instagram and send each other encouraging posts. During that time, there wasn't even such content per se.
That was not the content people were creating.
Yeah, it wasn't the content people, like, so much has changed between the time she became a mom and the time I became a mom.
Yeah.
And because she was a mom at that time, she was also able to come through and give me support.
Yeah,
because she knew she was able to understand my situation because she'd been there first. So I just really thank God for me, and I really hope and I pray, because I know not every lady who gets a child has that type of community, and it also I think also the dynamics with your partner affects.
Yes,
because if you're a married woman and you're in a relationship, in a stable relationship, you're with your man, I think there's a way people can come in and support you, which is different to say, like, now me, I was able to go back home and stay there for a period of time. And I'm sure I'll be taken care of because this is my mom and this is my sister. But when you're at home, sometimes it's your in-laws. I'm not saying in-laws are bad.
But you also can't guarantee that they will be good.
Yes. You also can't guarantee that they'll be good. Also, are your friends, I don't say allowed to come to your house, but this is the reality we are living in.
There are people and partners who will not allow
you're still doing
your
the
friends
housework.
to come to the house. What?
Yeah, you're still I remember I just saw a tweet and they were like, and I assumed it was from a guy. And the guy who made that tweet was not a guy, it was a girl. And she was saying, people are always telling mothers to sleep while the baby is sleeping. And that was so impractical. And she had me there. I was like, it's impractical. And they're like, what time will she have to cook and clean the house? I was like, I was like, you have lost me.
Like, had me in the first half.
You have lost me. Had me in the first half. I didn't think she was about to talk about more labor.
Like you didn't just labor, but now you're also laboring for everyone else.
Yeah, like, where is everyone else in the house? You know, and if you've been a mom and you're a breastfeeding mom, it's hard.
And a career mom.
Leave alone the career. Let's talk about those first few months. They are chaotic.
Yeah.
You're barely, if you're a breastfeeding mom, you're almost tethered to your kid. That kid is, sometimes even they can feed continuously for 1 hour.
Yeah, I used to visit and I was like, why is this child just there? He's just suckling forever.
The entire time.
Forever. You put him down in 15 minutes again. I'm like, how she be? What's going on?
Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
So when the baby is sleeping, you're either crashing or you're trying to eat food because you're hungry as hell.
Yeah. I've heard about the hunger pangs.
Yeah, they're so bad. And now you're supposed to... Listen,
and now you're cooking and cleaning and doing laundry.
You're cooking and cleaning. And for sure it helps, especially for people who have PPD. Having a clean environment really helps. So of course you also have to be active. And I'm not saying don't be active, don't be involved, but I just didn't expect that.
Yeah. Hey, I get that. That said, how do you think, especially your financial experience and parenting experience altogether, would be different if you were a dad instead of a mom? Same situation, but you're the dad.
So this was actually in my notes.
Yeah.
So when a kid comes, everyone, that is when you truly understand the different roles you both play.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, and that's why for me, for single moms, I have pure admiration. Nothing but admiration. They go through so much.
Yeah.
You have to step in and do this on your own. You have to be the provider, the giver.
Yeah.
You are the one who's doing all those maths. And for me, being also a single mom, I've had to do those things. But I've had a baby daddy who didn't completely jump the story. So he's still there providing for us. But for most people, you still have to think about rent. You still have to think about grocery shopping and bills and all those other recurrent expenditure we were talking about, clothes.
And now you also have to think about this child will go to school at some point.
Exactly.
Which schools?
You have an education fund.
Yes.
You have a trust fund possibly, which you're thinking because... And those trust funds actually help even when the baby is in uni. They're trying to do masters.
The college funds.
Exactly. The medical funds. Maybe even you need to move to a different place for one reason or the other. Maybe it's to get closer access to better schools. Maybe you got a job opportunity. Like there's so many things you just come up across life. So when now we are talking about the different roles as a mom or dad, if you're in a relationship and your man, or even if you're not in a relationship, your baby daddy is present, whatever.
Yeah.
And the man has said, I will be the main provider. He's the one bringing home the bacon.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you still have to think about the money. Because that man is not going to sit down with a grocery list. I mean, there are those who will. There are good sweethearts out there. So, but the groceries, it's you. The nanny, it's you. You have to plan for those things and they come up each month. I even remember that was one of the talks which I was given by a mutual friend. Just like, usitegemee mwanaume akulipie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vitu za nyumba.
Yeah. Like you plan yourself. Because even to look for that lady, it is you.
It
Immediately,
is you
like,
to find the nanny. It is you to find the good one, hire again, do all the
exactly.
things. Yeah, it is you to
Umekuwa
decide this is the
employer.
brand we are of Uji we are drinking in this house.
Yes.
This one has aflatoxin. This one is, it is you to decide.
Even if you're a working mom,
Yes.
you will just find yourself doing those things.
Yeah.
And that is not to say the man of the house is not getting involved with, but I'm not,
Yeah.
it will just happen. And if it does, it's amazing for sure. But you'll find yourself taking up those roles mainly because you're the one, you know, who's there. He'll probably step in if you're the ones in a while, and you'll have to like do a list and be like, take this specific, the green one or the blue one.
Then they call you in the supermarket and be like, which one?
Yeah. But then, you know, especially as the first time.
Yeah.
But you know, over time, even them, they get used to it.
Yes.
So I do think those are the different things. If I was a man, I think being a man in today's world is also not easy.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear, it's hard.
It is actually very difficult.
It is very difficult when you have, but in some sense, and I'm not going to say 100%, this does not happen for all men. On one end, there's pressure for you to provide, and not just to be the provider, to be the main provider. The one who brings in the bigger bucks. Even if it's not big, it's the bigger ones. Like there's always that pressure which is there. And I don't think even with our generation that is changing anytime soon.
Changed.
I don't think it has changed much. For sure, there are dynamics where it works, where the woman is bringing in more money than the man. But there's always that added pressure. So you will have to throw yourself more into work, which means you have reduced time at home with your kids until you're at a place where you're like, okay, now I think you're comfortable, I can ease up. Because you know, if you're not at work, like that becomes a whole other issue. Remember, men only have 2 weeks of paternity.
Yeah.
And also attitudes at work, they change. When a man becomes a dad, they're like, oh yeah, now he's going to be more responsible at a
Okay. So there's that expectation of now you are a responsible member of... Before you were not. There was no expectation of you to be anything.
We did not even know who you were tethered to.
But now.
Now.
Yeah.
Now we know officially who you're tethered to.
That said, would you still pick being a mom over being a dad? Or is there a world where you'd be like, okay, I'm going to be the father here?
I would want to say still want to be a mom because that's all I
I get it.
All I have known.
Yeah.
Would I ever want to be a man? No, because, okay.
No offense to men out there.
But have you met women?
I know. First of all, women are beautiful.
Have you met women? Hey, I don't...
I hear you.
Yeah, and allow me to say this. Because sometimes you get into motherhood and you're like, oh yeah, now fun. No, fun does not end. I think the quality of your motherhood sometimes really depends a lot around the support systems around you. And for me, I'll always champion for building community for this. It doesn't always have to be the people at home. Sometimes the people at home, you're having challenges with them. You've had maybe challenges even with the people who you're working with. I just wish you could build more community to allow families to thrive. And let me say families because it's not just about the mother. When you become a mother, this child is not just yours in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It's like
they are a person of their own in a community.
This is now a family. Immediately a child is introduced, it has now and you need the way you need support even as a person, the way even couples when they start getting into relationships. I was having an argument with one of my friends because I'm like, I'm anti too much isolation. I understand the isolation phase, but I'm like anti it because I'm like, you need community at the end of the day. Yeah. You can't just disappear into a relationship and then when things go south is when you're coming back to your friends. I'll still take you back. But
like you can come back, but you will have a talking to. But you can come back.
When you're over the whole hardships, I'll just be like, but you know, you can always be around us. Like no one is chasing you away.
You can have the family and the community, the relationship and the community, the friendships within the community.
And it actually strengthens how, and it impacts how then you're able to respond to your individual relationships. You're not looking at your child and being like, oh, you know, I feel like that's where I'm I'm not a therapist, but
It's okay.
I'm just qualifying.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes when you isolate yourself too much as a parent and you're carrying the entire load, you might not notice, but at some point you do get some kind of narcissistic tendencies, narcissistic parenting styles. Because at some point you'll just be like, yeah, it's me.
You know what's best for this person. You've raised this person. You've been 24/7 helicoptering,
it
so
is
to
me.
say.
You know.
Yeah.
So it will also impact how then your child is viewing you as a parent, because they're like, you're the end all, be all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if something happens to you,
who is
their
even
life
keeping
will
you
fall
accountable?
apart.
You know, even as a parent,
That's true.
who
Because
is
you need
keeping you
someone to be like,
accountable? Yeah. Who's keeping you accountable? And to even form that community, there's a lot of things which have to happen, not just with yourself being like, I'm opening up my home and my experiences to people. And it also goes to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have community magically just because you became a mom.
It has to happen because of you within. It has to start with
you as on an
we are friends. The reason why I was able to be there for you is because we were already there for each other for like 7 years before
a
that.
culture of being there for each other already.
Yes.
So even when we are going through life, we are still going through life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's also something I guess I also had to learn. In terms, because in friendships you go through so much.
Don't we?
Yeah.
Don't
you go through so much.
Yeah.
And you go through so many changes, and you're always like, it's like a game of we are like this, and then
like this, and like
and then
close,
like this, and then like this,
like still within the same, but
still like it's and that of course that's how you build that community. Just being like, oh yeah, at this time when you are like this, I'm not going to assume that it's broken.
Yes.
Like those cords are cut. Yeah. So it takes a lot of work for sure.
I get that. I think we are done on time. I don't know. Is there anything you want to ask me before we part? As I give my parting shot as well.
Yeah. I think maybe, and what is one of the things which you think as a mom? Because I feel like most of the times, especially for me, I focus too much on the socials more than the financials.
Yeah.
What do you think is like, let's say, top 3 things which you can consider as a mom you need to get down, right? And what are the alternatives which are there if it's investment?
Okay. Like for moms, for people who are already mothers.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, insurance, health and life insurance, especially for what you've said. Even before you were a mom, the cost of medical care in this country is astronomical. The cost of good medical care is even more astronomical.
Yeah.
And I think people don't even do the numbers enough for you to get yourself to a place where you're like, I can't afford. You probably could afford it if you sat down and actually even asked those insurance providers, call them, ask them to send them there's usually a PDF of the plans. Look through it and see what you can afford. Start with something.
Yeah.
So insurance and life insurance, because one thing that is guaranteed is but we will die.
You will die.
We don't know at what point in time. And I have seen people, their lives turned upside down because they were well off, and then their parent who was well off passed away, and then their family came in and
disrupted everything.
Yeah, the lifestyle completely switched. All of a sudden, uko Ushago, you were studying in Makini, you're no longer there. So life insurance and a will. So it should come like this.
Yeah.
You can the legal
How soon
part.
do you think you need
I
to
feel
get
like ASAP. Because who you think?
Maybe what assets am I bequeathing except bank accounts?
Exactly.
With my salary.
Exactly. You think you know people, but even when something happens, you're not here to dictate how people can handle it.
Yeah.
I can trust my family, but who says that I can trust them when I am not here? So as much as we want to believe and trust people, it's always best when it's on paper. And because this is your kid, this is your child, why not do everything to best
I'm thinking
to
of it,
best set them up?
It really scares me when I think of it that way. It's really
so
scary,
insurance, what did I say first?
There was medical insurance, life insurance,
medical insurance,
having a will.
Yes. The other thing is just increasing your income. More money.
Yep.
Finding a way to increase your income. Obviously, that's so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
And if you're not yet at the place where you feel like you're financially ready to have a child, it's also okay. It's okay to be
Yeah.
like, I can't have a child right now because of money.
Get family planning, guys.
And usually family planning is cheaper. Whichever one you pick, it's going to be cheaper than the child.
It's cheaper than the kid.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
was going to say Marie Stopes is cheaper than the child, but I don't think we'll keep that one in as well.
Yeah.
Pro. Anyway. Yeah, those I think would be my top 3. I don't think those ones have alternatives. I also would say get educated as a person, as a parent. You cannot pass on something you don't have. You cannot pass on good financial management skills.
For sure.
You can't tell me.
For sure.
Let me tell you, by the way, you will not be able to tell your son to not buy whatever food he wants because he's watched you his whole life have a craving and go and buy it regardless of where we are or what we're doing or where we are financially. I will wait to see. I know I have the same problem. So I can't even fault you because I also, if I wake up today and I want to buy sushi, best believe. But you cannot teach something you don't have. So in my work as a coach, like you can't pass on something you don't have. I teach also. Learn.
Yeah.
You can't teach investment when you don't know.
The habits you're having.
Yes. You can't imagine they will manufacture them somewhere. We can work on them at some point, but you're the first point of contact for this child.
Yeah.
And so are we with our parents.
Yeah.
That is all I have to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That said, guys, I had an amazing conversation with my friend B. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time from work and mothering to be here.
For sure.
And if you want to be part of these conversations, if you want to sit on a chair like this or a different one and be asked questions and ask me questions, you can fill in the form that we will leave in the description or the show notes. Wait. I asked you which song describes your finances.
I remembered.
Yes,
and then I was like,
yes. So there'll also be a section where we want to incorporate other elements of creativity. So which song currently expresses where you're at financially?
I have 2. Yeah. Listen, when you ask me, once when you say that one for increase your salary, you know that song by Nameless? Salario. Yeah, so there's that one for sure. And then there's the one by ABBA, Money. Comes that first verse where the girl is talking about if I had a rich man, I would just be prancing about or something. I'm like, I feel, and she even said, I'll not be working, I'll just stay at home.
That's nice.
I said, I know I won't stay at home.
Yeah.
But I'll try.
Yeah. I will do my best to stay at home.
Yeah.
I get that. Those are amazing songs. We will also link them. We'll leave the Spotify links down below. Yeah, so if you want to participate, be part of these conversations, tell me what other things you want us to talk about. If you have other guests you want me to reach out to, Mini Kimbelembele, I will reach out to them. Yeah, thank you for joining us on this episode of Money Moves Diary, the pilot episode. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye.
Bye.